Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the CORE Xfinity Series presented by simraces.com, and we are here at another beautiful track. We are here under the lights here at Auto Club Speedway, 2-mile D-shaped oval. Certainly was a good race when we were at Michigan just a few races ago. Last week, not so much. The Northeast there at New Hampshire didn't exactly treat these drivers too well. It was a bit of a rough one out there, kind of caution-filled. But I'm sure the drivers are happy to get back out here. A lot wider track here, a lot wider open as well, and don't have to use the brake as much. And we'll hopefully get some tracks later this season where they can use the brake and not cause too many cautions. But either way, looking forward to this one here tonight. 70 laps on tap. Carl and we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, back where we belong. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, who doesn't like to come to Auto Club? So definitely a track that we enjoy broadcasting, and hopefully the fans like watching, as it does put on some of the better racing that we've had here at on iRacing. So definitely a good track, multiple lanes to run, too wide pretty much all the way around the track. So there's a lot of good racing that's going to go on here. Do have a pretty large field here today. Got to see.
Last count was a little bit over 30 drivers.
Yeah, it's like 32 drivers here tonight. So it's good to see the drivers coming out and keeping those numbers up here at CORE as they get out here on Tuesday nights and hang out with us for a little while as we put the drive around the track.
Got a couple of drivers that won't be able to qualify just because of penalties, especially coming from last week. We'll see Joey Cruz have to start from the back of the field here. I don't see Matt Simmons, but if he is out there in the field or if he joins the session here, he'll be starting from the back as well. A couple of new faces as we got John Williams joining us out here once again. And we'll see what he can do. And unfortunately, it looks like the numbers didn't update before the session, so may get a little hairy. It's showing him as the 5, and Alan L was a 23. So hopefully, it doesn't get too screwy. I'm sure we'll still get used to seeing now the 23 up front with Alan Elwood as they're into qualifying right now. But another one joining the field here tonight. I'm guessing just a one-off here. Chris Hamilton out there in the field as well. So we'll see what Hamilton can do. Maybe finally getting a night off of work and joining the field out here. Still working on finishing up this qualifying here. We'll take a look at the point standings in the meantime. Top of the boards for the Platinum Series right now is Alan Elwood. He's 3 for 3 with poles so far this season. Doesn't look like it's going to come to fruition here. Looks like he's just finishing up his lap here. A good lap, but 0.07 of a second off the way it looks behind Jack Stoneman. So his reign at the top, starting at the top at least, is going to be over. But winner of the last 2 races of the season, with the other win going to Kelly Pointer in the season opener. So he leads the Platinum Series by 34 over Tommy Ryan, 48 over Jack Stoneman. In the gold, it is, Jake Lesh by 40 points over Joey Cruz, 53 over AJ Roderick. In the silver, Dalton Drummond leads by a single point over Matt Crockett. Colin Flickiger in third by 35 points down. In the bronze, it is Jeremy Gainey up 16 on Luis Orduna and 20 on Terry Jansen. Not sure if Terry is going to be able to make it out here tonight. I know he was having some, looks like he is out there. Hopefully he's got his VR issues figured out, and I was having some major issues.
Battery's sitting back.
Yeah.
Battery's got his VR facing the other way.
So, not fun. Not fun. It's hard enough driving forward. But either way, Jimmy, we've got our 32 car starting order here for tonight, so give you plenty of time to catch your breath and get this thing underway.
Yeah, plenty of drivers out here tonight as they're finishing up, and the list is as follow. On the pole, it's going to be the number 25 of Jack Stoneman. I'm starting on that number 1 spot. Alan Elwood on the outside tonight, just showing the 23 on your screen. Typically is a 5, like Carl explained. Got Courtney Nelson for P number 3 and P number 4. Chad Coleman making his way up there tonight. Jake Lesh with a top 5 qualifying effort, and James Hislop, Tyler Skozin, Jeff Ryan, Tommy Ryan, Jonathan Schwartz, Randy Yoakum, and Josh Van Westen for your first top 12. Going back through the rest of the field here, and P number 13 is going to be David Tilford, followed by our another core mate here, Christopher Hamilton out there tonight. Collins in P number 15 with Matt Crockett in 16th. Michael Schwartz in 17th with Ricky Renner in 18th. Dan Phelps in 19th, Nathan Nickerson in 20th, Jeremy Gainey starting in 21st, Luis Orduna in 22nd, John Williams Sr., welcome over here over to CORE, is sitting in 23rd. Zane Bierman starts in 24th, and then back there in the 25th position is going to be Joe Sullivan, and then number 1 car, still odd, Stephen Harris, and in P number 26, Joe Thomas back there, and in 27th, Terry Jansen on 28th, Troy Snyder in 29th, Joey Cruz starting in 30th, Robert Matthews back there in 31st, and Gary Wright will finish the back of the pack.
Yeah,
start.
Starting in the back of the pack. We'll see where he finishes. But
sorry, Gary. Sorry.
But either way, Jack Stoneman is the one that's going to take the reins here at the front of this field, and good qualifying effort from him. They do have the simraces.com boys all kind of mixed up there together. You got Michael Schwartz, Ricky Renner starting in 17th and 18th, and then Nathan Nickerson right behind him in 19th. So we'll see what they do, see if they work together at all here. But it should be going here. Again, 70 laps here under the lights at Auto Club. Some good looking cars out there, and we're ready to get them underway as pace car lights are out. It's time to go racing here at Auto Club. Shake off those cobwebs from New Hampshire. It's time to let these engines roar a little bit more, and we'll send it down to Barney for the start of this thing. He's ready to roll. Hopefully you out there in Sierra Nation are ready too, because we are racing here at Auto Club.
And under green, there they go. Past Barney as he waves them by as they head down and turn the roll on. Jack Stillman has the edge going down and through the corners. Is able to pick up a slight lead as they head down towards the backstretch. And then you can see on screen as they roar past the digger camera, Jack Stillman is able to slap in front of Alan Elwood here for that run down the backstretch.
Nothing like the sound of these cars ripping by the first couple times past these cameras. As we got a battle for the lead, looks like Alan Elwood's going to shove it down to the inside there. He is going to have the edge slightly coming off the corner, but Jack Stoneman's going to wrest the lead back away. Good battle here at the front of the field. Still side by side. Elwood's going to have the inside line again, heading down into turn number 1. He's going to wrest the lead away for the time being. We'll see if Stoneman's going to have a rebuttal and try and fight him for the lead, or if he's going to settle in here and try and save some fuel. Back a little bit further in the top 10. Get some good battling back here with James Hislop on the outside. Tyler Scozen, teammate there, Jack Stoneman, just losing out the spot there. Going to fall back to 7th place. Got Dave Tilford moving up now into the top 10, so up 3 spots already, moving past Randy Yoakum there in the number 30. But you see behind him plenty of battling, some cars scraping the wall here a little bit. But Jimmy, this is what we expect here at Auto Club. We expect these cars to kind of spread out, find all different kinds of lines, especially under the lights here, nice and cool. It should provide some good grip for these drivers.
Yeah, at least prolongs the life of the tires. Auto Club is pretty well known for tuning up some tires. If you overdrive the car, for sure, especially heading down to turn number 1 and coming off of through 3 and 4, you don't want to hit the wall exiting 4, and definitely don't want to squeeze your another driver into the wall coming out of 2. But we'll see how these drivers handle Auto Club. We've been here before, and obviously it's it's starting to become I think the drivers are kind of getting the hint that eventually one of these tracks, Michigan, Auto Club, or even both, will be on the schedule. As 34 comes down front of 67 there to block that move. But a good move there for, I think that was Jeff Ryan. 218 Joe Thomas. Looking maybe to save fuel. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Joe here tonight.
We've seen Joe try and save fuel on Monday night last night. Was hoping that thing went green the entire way. Unfortunately, didn't pan out for him, and finishing a little bit further in the back. But you wonder what would have happened had the cautions not come out when they did. But still battling for the lead up here. Stoneman not letting Elwood get away, and they were side by side going to the line there again. Meanwhile, Chad Coleman up there in 3rd, Courtney Nelson in 4th, and then you got the battle here for 5th as the battle here for 4th and 5th with Courtney Nelson on the inside in the 29, Jake Lesh on the outside in the 51. Some good battling is what we're again used to seeing out here. Now you got Chris Hamilton losing out of position here to Jeff Ryan, as it looks like Hamilton maybe just kind of riding around right now, trying to conserve some tires for the longer run. And we'll see how it works out. As there it is. Josh Van Westen coming up a little bit, hooking himself across the front of Jeff Ryan, and that's going to bring out our first caution right in front of Barney. You already got to see everything on that one. So that will be our first caution here of the night. You've seen him kind of bobbing and weaving, and I thought maybe he realized, okay, I'm clear, but then he went back down to the bottom and then tried to come back up again, and unfortunately he was not clear the second time, so we'll take a look at it here one more time. Ryan a little bit loose there. You see the 121 was clear, and then he tried to come up again and try and get that draft, and unfortunately was not clear after all, and the 34 gets taken out. Looks like Flickiger gets a little piece of it there. Excuse me. Arduna able to slide on by, and the fact that the 121 kind of stuck to the outside wall, and the fact that the 34 ended up going down to the grass, kind of part of the Red Sea for everybody behind and nobody else getting involved. So at least they got that going for them. But we'll take it back live here. And Jack Stoneman was able to just get back ahead as the caution flag flew. So we got a little mano-y-mano here at the front to start this thing with the 25 and the 23. But you are seeing the correct number on Alan Elwood. It's incorrect on our side just because the number's getting a little mixed up here tonight. Going forward, the John Williams is going to be in the number 42, as you see on his car, which is correct also. He won't be the 5, so that's why you see that little bit of confusion here tonight from SDK. But either way, under our first caution here tonight, and we'll see. I don't know, Jimmy. I feel like tires maybe not an issue yet, but looking at the long picture here, fuel mileage has become something big here at these bigger tracks.
Yeah, even obviously drivers take advantage of times like this, and it's like who's going to do what now, and is anybody going to take advantage right here? And you can see not giving room. It's going to be a close squeeze in here. And
that was a late.
That was like
wow. That was very late, and I mean, if Stoneman would have hooked across the front of the 5, I don't know who would have been to blame necessarily on that one, because that was a very late move to pit lane, and it really could have resulted in a lot of the field getting bunched up right at the front of pit lane. But now we'll see whose pit crew is better. The 5 gets a good stop on the line there. A few cars staying out. Looks like Stephen Harris, Jeremy Gainey, Ricky Renner, Nathan Nickerson all deciding to stay out here, and it looks like off the 25 stalled it coming out of pit road, or what happened there. He's going to lose plenty of spots. But your top 5 is going to be Stephen Harris, Jeremy Gainey, Ricky Renner, Nathan Nickerson, and Alan Elwood. So not sure if Michael Schwartz didn't get the memo from the simraces.com crew, but he's in the pits right now, and not sure if he's serving a penalty or not, because we got a few cars in here taking quite a bit of time. I don't think he got any kind of damage that I noticed, but something going on here with Jack Stoneman. Not sure what the issue is, but I have that he just crashed now as he's slow here on the backstretch. I'm not sure what's going on here with the 25.
Yeah, not quite sure. Maybe some issues with the equipment to put him towards the back. So obviously, after running and battling for the lead there with Alan Elwood, now finds himself towards the back of the pack as far as the platinum drivers go. Does look like rookie Stephen Harris will be out front. Look at Jeremy Gainey gaining all kinds of positions here up there in P2 along with Ricky Renner and Nathan Nickerson. Obviously working our way up to the top. Then you have Alan Elwood, and then Chad Coleman for platinum division. Jake Lesh up there for your top gold driver. Hislop up there in 8th. Another platinum driver, Taras goes in 9th. Another rookie in 10th. Platinum Tommy Ryan in 11th. Rookie in 12th in Hamilton. Obviously, we've seen him out here on the track. Might be a little slower here tonight because he was knocking off some rust and just out here to have some fun, but still closing in on that top 10 there for another driver. Top silver driver looks like to be Zayden Bierman, all the way up in P number 14. And your second gold driver will be Dave Tilford in 16th. And it got Luis Arduna up there for your second bronze driver.
Yeah, some big spreads on some of these early on in the race here on lap number 9. Definitely a shout out to Stephen Harris. He's getting his feet wet. His first league that he's in, and now he gets his first time at the front of the field. I believe this is his first laps led in CORE. So congrats to the driver of the 134. But now this is where it gets interesting. Dare we say? Or we'll see what happens on the restart, because a lot of times when we see some drivers staying out, it gets a little sketchy on the restarts here. But Stephen Harris is going to be the one that controls it here. Jeremy Guinea up there, and you got two of the SimRacing.com drivers with Nathan Nickerson and Ricky Renner in third and fourth. And looks like we got some issues there towards the back with a car coming up there. Not sure who's going to get a black flag. Looks like Troy Snyder getting a black flag on this one. Not sure what was going on there, but we are going to get away cleanly. Alan Elwood already looking down to the bottom, going 3 wide, but man, look how you're about 6 wide going into turn number 1. Cars all over the place. You see Joey Cruz trying to work his way up through the field. Got to be careful, though, because he did start in the back of the field for a reason. He's got some penalties under his belt and doesn't want to be involved in it anymore, because it could result in him having to miss the next race out there. So got to be really careful. Meanwhile, Alan Elwood doesn't mind that Jack Stoneman had whatever issues that he had, because he has got clear track now ahead of him. Nobody battling with him, but you see the gaggle coming off of turn number 4, just cars all over the place. This is Auto Club at its best, and maybe at its worst as well. It gets a little crazy up there.
Yeah, obviously it's tough, you know, especially if you're in the car by yourself using virtual drivers, or you know, anything you can to kind of give you awareness of where everybody's at. But you know, you can see that you know, obviously just the gains aren't always like super huge, and you know, it could be just like the slight of a bumper, enough to where if somebody came across the nose, you end up spinning them. See, T. Snyder still serving that black flag back there in the pits at the moment. But yeah, right now it's Alan Elwood. Stephen Harris still holding on within obviously a little lighter fuel. You know, did allow it, like, just kind of staying out of the way, not making anything aggressive, just holding his line, and that's a good thing there for Steven. Obviously, they're down there in not quite sure what turn that is.
Coming out of turn number 2 right now onto the backstretch. Oh yeah, that would help. There we go. That's a little better. Everybody else missing the track map as well. Yeah, heading into turn number 3.
Now they're down at turn 3. Yeah, but obviously I like to be a little higher, go and look at this track. It's one of the few tracks I like to kind of come out here and run. But you know, I like staying a little higher through 1 and 2, like at least no lower than like midway. It seems to save tire towards the end, and then obviously I like to wrap the yellow or white line through 3 and 4. It seems to work for me, but doesn't say I'm doing it right. But it seemed to prove some decent results. Some of the officials that ran, and so it worked for me when I was here a couple months ago. But right now, you know, obviously these drivers, you know, maybe got the cars in the way, so they find themselves in another spot. But Stephen Harris 10, we need to like that high side here, and that's not a bad thing. You just gotta.
There from the 55 of Skosen. Almost 2 for 1 there through the corner. What a run. I mean, I was just about to say, good on Stephen Harris for battling as long as he did up front there. But my Lord, that 55 shot out of a cannon. Got by the 134, almost got clear of the 51 as well. And now he's going to off of turn number 2. Tommy Ryan, excuse me, coming up through the field here as well. But, I mean, you see the runs and the different ways you can attack these corners. Alan Elwood is your leader. Tommy Ryan in second. Jake Lesh, I'm sorry, Tyler Skosen in second. Jake Lesh, Tommy Ryan in fourth. Trent Coleman for your top 5. Then you got Chris Hamilton, Jonathan Schwartz, Stephen Harris, Randy Yoakum, James Hislop, and Courtney Nelson for your top 10. But, man, what a run there. It's fun to watch. It scares me at the same time when you see all these different cars spreading out all over the place getting these runs.
Yeah, you want the drivers to try to have a great race, and obviously the 29, you make things a little tight there, right there at the inside of the 134 as they head down the backstretch into turn number 3. It's just in front of here, Joey Cruz in the 69. But yeah, these drivers right here are still bad. 134 kind of like. You know, obviously he gained a lot of positions able to kind of get out front there, get a lap right underneath caution. But, you know, now is like being around everybody. Just kind of looking at, Stephen Harris's iRating. I don't know everybody. I don't know everybody's how many races they've done. I didn't go and check their profiles or nothing. But, a little on the lower side when it comes to the average. Some of the top drivers that driving here, they're more in the 3 or 4K and all the way up into the 5K range. So it's pretty high quality racing up at the front, and that's why you see a lot of the qualifying times so close together. The moves, the 92 had to endure getting passed by the 3 to 42 on the outside and so whole things. But here comes Stoneman trying to work his way through. He's got to, obviously practice a little bit of patience and work his way through. But the 25 working their way back through the field, all the way back up to P15.
And you see Stephen Harris maybe getting a little uncomfortable, getting shuffled back through the field here as, I mean, it's great experience now. I mean, like I mentioned, this is, from what I know, his first league that he's joined, and the fact that he was able to hang with the platinum and gold drivers there at the front for a while is great. It looks like maybe a little bit of a back end wrinkled up there, so I'm not sure if he got contact from somebody or under the wall, but looks like the 144 are going to come into the pit lane now, and this is what we may see from those drivers that stayed out, because now they may have to come into pit lane because they're not going to have as much fuel as some of the others. But out front, it is still Alan Elwood leading the way, but man, it's been a heck of a battle here for second place. Tyler Skojan looks like he's finally gotten around Jake Lesh, who's just been a thorn in his side for a while, and now Tommy Ryan's going to deal with it. He's got Chad Coleman behind him, trying to help Platinum and Platinum drivers working together here to try and dispatch the 51 of Jake Lesh, who's having a heck of a good start to the season.
Yeah, Jake's been, obviously we've seen Jake race before in another league, and obviously had some pretty decent results, and out here just this season so far has had a few times we got a chance to talk to him here in the booth. So yeah, the 51 putting in some great races here so far this season, and obviously showing why he's a little farther up there in the points as well right now, as is running in the top 5 at the moment. So in P4 battling for third with Tommy Ryan.
I think we talked about him one too many times, Beetlejuice 3 times or something like that. He brushes the wall there, almost gets into Chad Coleman, but one thing, as the 29 gets pinched off there a little bit now, is a little close there with Courtney Nelson and the 199 of Jonathan Schwartz. But one thing I'm noticing, Jimmy, and I'll knock on wood by saying it as well, not really having any kind of issues here tonight with 30 plus cars here at Auto Club under the lights. But I'm starting to wonder, Jimmy, if the taxing issues, when it comes to, obviously, when I'm the one controlling the broadcaster for CSRL, is more along the lines because it's GT3 cars, because there's so many different makes and models that are out there that kind of contributes to, not only is it 40 cars out there, but there's 11 different cars out there that the system's got to take into play. I'm sure it doesn't exactly help things.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a few tracks that are more taxing than others, and like I said, I was going through a lot of the settings and stuff, and trying to kind of clean stuff up or bring as maximum visuals to everybody out there, because obviously you can dumb your system down. You can potato graphics, go to potato graphics if you want to. Take away the grandstands, take away all the shadows, take away you can take the detail down your car, but iRacing's just got an older graphics engine, and they're in the middle of changing some things. And there was talk about updating their graphics engine, and they're not on the same level playing field. They're not on they're not a AAA title. They don't get NVIDIA supported drivers. A lot of even a lot of bad games get NVIDIA support, so they need to kind of get, I think, up there. They've done a great job keeping this thing alive with what they got, but I think for drivers and a little bit of support out there, obviously a thing that they could do or provide is to update their drivers a little bit, make it a little easier, less taxing on the CPU side of the house, and I'm bringing being able to use that graphics card. So essentially, it's what I tried to do with mine was, just start turning some graphics out. And I went, it sounds counterintuitive, I guess, as I was on 1080p and I switched to 1440p. So I doubled my pixels. So there's more to process, but it's more for my graphics card to process. So my graphics card's not choked out anymore. It's actually running higher, than my CPU, instead of my CPU running higher than my graphics card. So I'm not quite optimized. It's more be a very low-end 4K system on my end, and I'm still sitting right now tonight. I got everything on, with the exception of OBS, and I'm running like 150, 160 frames a minute, so or second, excuse me, and so it definitely does really well here. But yeah, Daytona's bad, Sebring bad, Nürburgring, so many trees. Like this, it's a very difficult place, and when you bunch a lot of cars up, and you can change stuff. You can change what what the computer's drawing. You can, as far as the cars and then the mirrors and the level of detail. It's just there's so many settings. I can't say wasted, because I got results that I'm satisfied with at the moment. The only thing I haven't been able to test, and it's going to really be put to the test, is tomorrow night when we go over and we do the race there for CRL with the 40+ cars on a road course, and to see what they can do. And then the next thing I need to get a good test in is back at Daytona, rain, all that fun stuff. So that's the only thing that I haven't really kind of did too much testing, because there might be, like, if I know it's going to be a rain race, there might be things that I need to change to make things to be better, less inconsistencies, and basically keep your computer running as smooth as possible. And that's I sent you a couple videos, and that's what I think the best thing to get out of, like, when he was showing all the benchmarks, was the inconsistency portion of it. Try and take those away, minimize those, so your computer's running as flawless as possible without, like, getting in jitters and jumping around.
Well, what's crazy about the whole thing is that, like, I don't really have hardly any issues in the car. And it's, you're still displaying the same track and everything like that, but when you're zoomed out like this, you're showing more of it, I think, in some cases. Now, granted, what you're seeing on the screen here is a zoomed-in version. Obviously, with triple monitors, I'm seeing a little bit more on the sides.
I didn't notice, I'll be honest, I didn't notice much of a difference between triple and single.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing I was thinking about eventually doing is seeing what it does on single. I mean, it's working fine tonight, knock on wood, but I did try and keep it lifelike here. You see nobody in the stands, just like in real life, because they got rid of the stands and they got rid of the track like morons. But because it's clearly a great track and puts on some great racing. You see him 3 wide right now. Ricky Renner out of the pits with some fresh tires, fresh tank of fuel as well, trying to work his way back up through the field here to try and get his lap back here. But we do see some more cars now coming into the pits. Zane Bierman, your leader in the silver class. Silver division going to come into the pits, going to give it now over to Colin Flickiger. But you did see, Jack Stoneman making his way back up into the top 10 while battling for 10th and 11th right now with Randy Yoakum on the outside. But Stoneman trying to make up for whatever kind of issues he had. I mean, I really don't know what it was that left him go slow out of the pits and then really slow on the access road that put him all the way in the back of the field. But either way, 25 moving his way up there, and yeah, exactly. And then the 28 right in front of him, also making his way up through the field as want to push the pusher. It doesn't matter if you're at Daytona, Talladega, or here at Auto Club. You don't want to push the pusher. But now you see both the 25 and 28 back up into, up into the top 10. Joey Cruz first time into the top 10 here after having to start from the rear of the field. But up front, it is Alan Atwood leading the way. Courtney Nelson, Tyler Skozen, Tommy Ryan, Chad Coleman for the top 5. Jonathan Schwartz, Jake Lesh, Chris Hamilton, Jack Stoneman, Joey Cruz for your top 10. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything SCRN has to offer. I want to thank simraces.com for the sponsorship. And it is starting to be our first full round of green flag pit stops here. Courtney Nelson leading quite a sizable field into the pits. Alan Elwood's going to stay out here for at least another lap. Right here on lap number 30, but you know, kind of how everything shook out with that early caution. Still trying to figure out what the fuel mileage is here. I mean, it's looking like it's roughly about maybe 22 laps or so. 22, 23, 24, maybe around there. So I'm going to be looking at least one more pit stop after this, maybe even a splash and go before this thing ends. But should be seeing our leaders come in momentarily. Here comes the 5. Here comes the 55. We did see Tommy Ryan practicing some pit stops in practice that didn't go too well. That one went a little bit better than the one did in practice, but majority of the field now coming in here, and we'll see who shuffles out and where. Courtney Nelson now out of the pits, rejoining the field. He's technically your leader on track with everyone else in the pits. But we'll see who decides to take what, because
it's gonna be close. Short pit usually does fur out pretty decent here at Auto Club. We'll see if a lap was enough here.
Well, especially when you don't take any tires, Jimmy. I see a 9-second pit stop there. That's maybe right side tires, if anything. And he's seeing a lot of different strategies also coming out here. Actually, not different strategies, just better pit stops. Tyler Scholes and Tommy Ryan both get a better pit stop, as does the rest of them are out there on the track. But yeah, Alan Elwood, not a great pit stop for the 5/23. Maybe at the 23's pit crew instead of the 5's pit crew there on that one. But either way, he loses a few positions on this one. Courtney Nelson, with the off strategy, is going to take the lead. Now the question is, how long can he stay out there on those older tires? Again, maybe he does have right side tires. Maybe that's the call that he made. He's got a 2.6-second lead right now. It's gotten him out to the lead, and now he's really just kind of gonna have to survive until that next round of pit stops, and maybe that's when he puts those 4 freshies on and goes. But it's been a good run here since the early caution. Field now spread out a little bit, some battling right here for 5th and 6th between Tyler Scholes and Tommy Ryan.
And you see there the 25 of Jack Stoneman already back inside the top 10 in P number 7 at the moment. So obviously has come a long way and worked his way through pit stops to get himself in a situation to get another good finish here. Christopher Hamilton hanging out here in the top 10 as well, sitting at P number 8. So welcome back to the what do we call him? Not
an oval guy. Not an oval guy, yeah.
Not an oval guy. And he went on and won like 2 championships.
Kind of an oval guy. Yeah, exactly. He graduated.
Not an oval guy. Yeah.
Well, what's surprising here is 2 things, Jimmy. I mean, we haven't seen anyone stretch out. And granted, Alan Elwood's led a bunch of this race since the early caution with Jack Stoneman going towards the back. But I haven't seen him stretch out the lead. A lot of times we see that 5 get to the front and he kind of walks away a little bit. He didn't this time. He got out to maybe a 2nd at most, but always within drafting range. But now with this pit stop, he's back there in 8th. So this is definitely, 9th. This is not what we're used to seeing from our points leader, and it's maybe not exactly what he wanted to see early on. But I mean, it's not like he's on an off strategy. It was just a rough pit stop for the 5.
Well, he came down, and I know that one didn't look too bad, but obviously that near mess up there with Stoneman coming in like that late pit stop. I mean, that was very. We'll just put it heads up by Alan Elwood on that one.
Heads up on the front stretch as well.
No, let's go.
Zane Bierman came down, almost hooked himself across the nose of the 66, as Bierman was up there briefly in the lead before Jonathan Schwartz took it away, and he almost took himself out as well. Bierman doing a fine job right now, up there in 5th, as he came in with that short pit. And I mean, he's already had a pretty decent race up to this point, but he came in at lap number 27, a few laps earlier than everybody else. And like you mentioned, Jimmy, the short pit has been pretty massive here just from one green flag pit stop.
Yeah, I know it's big, and it tends to work out. And you're talking about that pit strategy. 2 tires does work here. One of the few things, one of the few tracks that it can work here. It doesn't last as long, but the fall off on the tires isn't as great as some other tracks. Obviously, last laps right now they're in the 41s. Their best laps are, you know, mid 40s, like, you know, at best. I don't see anybody like cracking 39s or nothing. So, you know, so it's really only about a second fall off. So, you know, if you can gain 10 seconds on a lap and you can force that guy behind you to run hard, the tires even out. So there's like a fall, like what they call it, like a fall off, like, you know, the kind of like where they match up to the tires. So you come out on 2, you come out on 4. I gain 10 seconds, you gain 5, and now we're even. So like, you know, you do gain some by going that 2-tire strategy. Now whether, you know, the next go around, I think we're going to see a little bit different strategies. Obviously, you know, people that haven't taken tires, taken 4, and maybe people that did take 2 tires are going, you know, obviously going to go for 4 because now their left side tires are really smoked and their right sides are, you know, have taken the brunt, but and trying to maintain the speed with everybody else. So I don't know, maybe some flip-flopping here when it comes down to the next one, but we should see it here at least one more time tonight, around a round of pit stops here at Auto Club. But yeah, right now your leader is Johnson Schwartz in a 199, followed by Tommy Ryan, Tyler Skozen, Jack Stoneman, and Jake Lesh still hanging out in your top 5.
Keep an eye on this battle right here for 6th and 7th between Bierman and Hamilton, but we're past that halfway point. And Jimmy, I think it's about time we crank these boys up here under the lights at Auto Club. Give everyone out there in Sierra Nation, we would love to hear it. Sights and sounds from the CORE Xfinity Series presented by simraces.com as we're nearing the back half of this race, or the back quarter of this race. New leader out front. We had Jonathan Schwartz out there for a little bit. We had Tommy Ryan out there for a little bit. Now it's Tyler Skosen's turn at the front of this field. You've seen a good battle between him and Ryan at the front. Jonathan Schwartz hanging out right in there. Jack Stoneman not too far behind there in fourth, and Jake Lesh still having a great night here up there in the fifth position, doing a great job. Leader of the gold division right now. Zane Behrman now in the pits. He's been leading in the silver division pretty much this whole night, having a good night here, and just needs maybe one more good pit stop. The driver should be good to go based on our rough calculations here, you know, from what we've seen so far in the race. Should be good to go on this pit stop to get to the end of the race. Now the question is, I would think most of the drivers, if not all of them, should have another set of tires in the pits, because they should have only been in 2 times. Once under that first caution where they just took fuel, and then once during the green flag pit stop. So even if they took a set of tires at that point, should still have one more set of tires in the pits to make the run to the end. Update on Courtney Nelson. He was the one that came out there with 2 tires at most. Unfortunately falling back now to 16th position. So worked out to get him some laps in the lead, but not working out in the long run right now. It is Tyler Skosen at the front of this field for the time being, because Tommy Ryan now looking to go back to the front as they battle here. Jonathan Schwartz trying to get up there in the mix again. He's in third. Jack Stoneman, Jake Lesh, Christopher Hamilton, Alan Elwood, who has not been able to move up since the came back on the track here. Chad Coleman, Joey Cruz, Randy Open for your top 10 for the time being, because we've got pit stops coming, and we got Schwartz, Stoneman, Lesh, and Hamilton in this time by Flicky. You're going to join them in there as well. It's been a pretty good race here so far, Jimmy. I shouldn't sound surprised when I say that, but it's been a good race.
Yeah, it's been a lot of battling, kind of back and forth, kind of a little bit all over the place here. You know, obviously me and Carl were talking about, you know, obviously some of the visuals and stuff here, but Auto Club obviously, you know, great underneath the lights, great action. The cars just kind of pop here on the track. Drivers all doing a fantastic job, you know, whether they've gotten them from Alan there, from the Simrat market, but you got the leaders coming in right now. Tommy Ryan, Tyler Skosen, and Chad Coleman all coming in here into pit lane. It does look like Joey Cruz, Yorkham, Tilford, Sullivan, Crockett. That 218's got to stay out. There's no way he's not staying out to get a lap. But
he's staying out, but he's not going to get a lap left because Alan Elwood's still out there. He's been saving a little bit of fuel here, trying to make it a maybe a shorter pit stop on this last stop here, as he's going to go a little longer. But Joe Thomas right now in second, Josh Van Westen in third. All 3 of those drivers have yet to make what should be their final pit stop. A couple of the others that we kind of question if they can make it to the end. Those ones that didn't pit on lap number 7 under that caution. Ricky Renner, Nathan Nickerson, just to name a few of them. But we'll see how this thing all shakes out. I believe Josh Van Westen was one of them, but it looks like he's kind of back on the same strategy now. Alan Elwood, Joe Thomas into pit lane. Drew will see the 131 in here as well, and indeed he's going to bring it down in here. This should complete the pit cycle here, and indeed it will. Jonathan Schwartz was able to get out in front of Tommy Ryan, Jack Stoneman, and Tyler Skosen. Now he did come in with Jack Stoneman on lap number 50. Ryan and Skosen went in on lap number 51. With a short pit workout, or we'll go on that 1 extra lap, pay off in dividends right now. It is a pretty sizable lead for Jonathan Schwartz as they come back past the line and everything resets. It's a 2-second lead for the 199.
Yeah, they still have 17 laps, which is you know, still a good amount to go. I'm pretty sure that, you know, these drivers will be fine the rest of the way. And you're going to see the 25 with Stoneman wanting to get back up there. And you're going to see obviously Tyler up there wanting to get up there as well. So Tommy's, you know, obviously he wants to take his time a little bit, but to save the tires so he can make the pass on Schwartz. Maybe Schwartz is on 2 tires. I mean, it's a 2-second gap, and Schwartz wasn't in the lead, but Schwartz is sitting in a pretty good spot right at the moment for that 199 Red Bull machine. And Tommy, you know, obviously we're going to try to round this thing out. Jack Stoneman there in second, Skosen in fourth. Fifth, Jake Lesh still hanging out. Zane Bierman in P number 6. And then you got Alan Elwood back there, P number 7, which is their, yeah, I think, like I say, Zane Bierman and Alan's right next to each other. Christopher Hamilton in there as well, 38, poking his nose up there as well. Coleman, so trying to get up and maybe past Alan Elwood to start, maybe gain himself a few points on Alan as well, but I'm sure we'll see Alan kind of creep his way back up to the field, saving fuel. Probably doesn't have to save anything at all, can go all out now. Just does he have enough time to get to the front? He is about 6 seconds back, so obviously got 15 laps to go. And so you're looking at, at least, 3/10 a lap average. So we'll see if he can get up there and make it past any of these drivers. It does look like Stoneman and the teammates there battling out, which I'm pretty Tommy is.
Same team, boys, same team. And right now they're losing out a little bit on Tommy Ryan, but that's because Ryan is gaining. It was 2 seconds when Ryan rejoined the field here behind Jonathan Schwartz. It's down to 1.4, so he is definitely reeling in Schwartz. Right now, Alan Elwood just racked in the fastest lap of the race, a 40.54. That is a 10th faster. Well, actually, sorry, not a 10th faster than everybody but Jack Stoneman. But Stoneman had a 40.56 earlier on in this race, clearly showing why they were the drivers that qualified in first and second here tonight. But Alan Elwood, maybe not done yet. Maybe at least the top 5 is still within play, but he's got 2.6 seconds he's got to make up on the top 5 right now. Jonathan Schwartz trying to do his best to get out and get away, try to put some lap cards in between them, but the time is dropping as we speak, and that time by with a little help with the lap car there. Didn't lose as much time, but it is still dropping every time by. We'll take a look at the lap times here. Just looking right there at Schwartz and Ryan, and actually, we'll throw in Skozen there as well, because you can see Skozen gaining on the lot as well, as he's finally gotten around Jack Stoneman. Stoneman, I don't think is done doing his battling just yet. He pit on lap 50, just like Jonathan Schwartz. So again, you wonder if that extra lap, it's just 1 lap of tires, Jimmy, but it can mean a lot.
1 lap of tires, the way they kind of came out. When you're leading, you don't have no way to kind of pace yourself, or the other benefit is you're the one setting the pace. So obviously he's got a little bit of time to kind of for any errors or getting around traffic and whatnot. I'm trying to put cars between him and Tommy, but Tommy's a coming. And trying to make his way through. We do have, let's see, who's that there? The 28 of Joey Cruz back down a lap. So
yeah, looks like he had a pit road penalty. Yeah, pit road penalty. He did it to him.
Yeah, there was another driver who had a pit road penalty. I forget who it was.
That might have been Robert Matthews, I believe. Or that was somebody right back around the same spot.
Yeah.
Either way, the lead is now down to 1 second, as you see the 42 there, technically the 5 of John Williams Sr. is trying to get back on the lead lap in his debut here for this season in the CORE Xfinity Series, right behind the 199, but not sure if that's helping or hurting Jonathan Schwartz right now. But you see 66 is getting a little bit bigger in the mirror for Jonathan Schwartz. Back to the line this time. It's 11 laps to go. Clock is ticking. It's ticking down in both ways.
Yeah, and John's like, dang it! I thought I was having a good run, but now we say here it's like he has 2 options. If he's faster than the 42, obviously he doesn't want the 42 to get by, to get back in the lead lap. But obviously the 42 is going to battle him. He's going to try to get on that lead lap, and I'm almost now just seeing the name there. I'm almost positive the 42 car there, the 5 John Williams Sr. He ran with UCRL.
UCRL, yeah.
That's where he was at over there. And so definitely a driver that's been around Tommy and Jake and JP when he's out here, and a few of the other drivers that have joined us from over there from UCRL. So it's always good to have those drivers come over and looking for something to do, as they had their they were Tuesday nights.
Tuesday nights, yeah, we did back-to-back, I think, with them and CORE Xfinity, yeah. It was definitely a long night with us. But that was one person that I forgot that we were missing here tonight is JP Phillips. I was watching a couple battles here on the track currently between Joe Sullivan, Colin Flickinger, and then back in the back we had another battle as well. But the battle for the front is going to be coming up here pretty soon. Also, Alan Elwood is caught in the back half of the top 5. He is back on the back bumper of Jake Lesh, running that high line, trying to get the good run, and we'll take a look, and maybe he will take a look here on the backstretch. Looks like Lesh is going to give him that high side down the backstretch. He knows he's got a good enough run, and he knows his battle is not with Elwood here. He's in the gold division and leading by a pretty good amount here. David Tilford in 10th is the next gold division driver. I mean, again, Jake has had a fantastic season to start here. He comes in here with a 40-point lead over Joey Cruz, who obviously is towards the back of the field tonight. He started in the back, and he's still in the back because of the pit road penalty. And then third place in the gold division, AJ Roderick, not here in attendance tonight. So another huge points day for the 51 at Jake Lesh. You wonder what can happen there as Alan would rush the wall there a little bit with the platinum division. Tommy Ryan has caught the 199. We got a battle for the lead coming to 7 laps to go.
They're about for lead, and on the outside as they head out of turn number 4 here down the front stretch. And this is where I want to be. I want to be on the outside, coming across the line here, run that high line. It's going to force the inside line guy to he's going to try to go down towards the entrance to try to get as much as possible. But you'll see that 66 gain momentum on the outside, and yes, the 199 is not clear.
Into the wall for both of them. It's going to allow the 55 of Tyler Skozen to take 2 for 1 on the backstretch, as I think Schwartz thought he was clear. He was not. So Skozen now into first place, and Jack Stoneman's going to slide himself into third. Can Stoneman make the comeback here? He started on the pole, had whatever kind of issues in pit road in that first pit stop, and now all of a sudden he's up here in third. He's clearly got better tires than the 199. Looks like the 199 struggling here a little bit. Maybe that little brush up, you see some damage to the backside, might be hurting him here, and the 42 up here in the mix. I mean, you can't blame John Williams Sr. He's battling to try and stay on the lead lap. If a caution were to come out, he'd be the lucky dog right now. But now the 25 to the outside for second place. Does Stoneman have any time to get around the 199 here of Schwartz and then take the battle to the lead? But yeah, in the meantime, the 5 is not done. He is out here towards the front. 5 laps to go. Can the 5/23 play any part in the end of this thing? Tyler Skozen, you know he wants to get out of here as quick as possible.
Yeah, obviously, you know, we never count out Alan even. No matter what he's doing, he's always got a plan and has used whatever strategy that he's had to his advantage. 199, Schwartz definitely played a big part in checking up to 66, causing damage to not only to his own car, but to the 66 as well. So obviously now those 2 drivers falling back. You know, Tommy was on a roll to the front, is falling back from the second now all the way back to 6th, and who knows how many places that he can drop if he can stay in front of Chad Coleman in the 38 or not. As Elwood obviously not being involved in anything here tonight, able to kind of keep rolling forward. So definitely going to have his hands full. Maybe have a chance to catch up to the 25. You know, now the 42. You know, obviously this is a part here, and it's hard to tell a driver like, hey, don't miss back out, but. You know, obviously when you see a battle like this, if I'm the 42, you know, right here out of this corner, I'm going to come down low. I'm probably going to lift a little bit and let the 5 go on by so he can go up there and try to race the 25. And that's just being self-aware of like your surroundings and where you're at. And that's you know, kind of a hard thing to do sometimes when you're just out there just trying to run the best laps you can and whatnot. But you know, you gotta think of like a bigger picture sometimes when it comes to the things like that. So
right there, I think that's exactly what you see. And the 42 kind of backed out there out of the backstretch. But now it is it's on for second place for sure. I think first place maybe out of reach here About a 1 second lead here coming out of the final corner, but there's still 2 laps to go at the line. Any kind of bobble, any kind of issue, and this thing is not over. Right now, it's UNOH 1-2 with Skozen and Stoneman. Your top 2 with 2 laps to go. Alan Elwood has worked his way back late in this race to get himself back up into the podium spots, but you know he's not just going to settle for third. He wants to get as far up as possible, maybe with a chance at the win yet. You know, Skozen's going to battle him hard here. They started on the front row together, and they battled very hard in the first run before the first caution there. So we'll see what the 25 has in store, if anything, trying to maybe take a little bit of the line away from the 5, but Allen's been rolling on that top side, and I would expect him to get a good run here, but time is running out. White flag in the air, 1 more lap to go here at Auto Club. It goes in by 1 second. Stoneman trying to hold off Alan Elwood.
Yeah, and obviously you're going to see here, and this is where I think this is where Stoneman's going to lose it here, because if he doesn't get a chance to slide up in front of the 5, he's going to lose that momentum, and it doesn't look like
the
good 5 had enough. Yeah, 5 didn't quite have the grip out there on the outside, probably had to loosen up, gaining some traction down the back stretch. Now he's going to take that dive down
to the inside. What a move, but just can't stick it. The 25 looks like he's going to hold on. Out of the final corner, the white flag still waving, but it's going to switch to checkered here in a moment. Tyler Skozen, your winner here at Auto Club. Stoneman going to hold off Alan Elwood for second. Elwood's going to finish third. Jake Lesh, another great finish for him. He's going to finish in 4th. Jonathan Schwartz rounds out your top 5. Chad Coleman, Chris Hamilton, Tommy Ryan, Dave Tilford, Joe Sullivan for your top 10. Another banger here at Auto Club, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's obviously the battles continue here and there, and I'm sure some drivers, you know, wish things would have went a little better, and obviously, you know, some contact affected some cars here, but congrats there to Skozen and Stoneman for coming in 1-2 here. I'm sure Stoneman would have loved to get that win for the team, but Tyler ends up doing that here tonight, up 6 spots. Biggest mover of the night, though, goes to Gary Wright, the guy with well, okay, tied for 15 spots.
And Joe
15
Sullivan.
Spots.
It's about time we see Joe Sullivan get himself a top 10.
Yeah, Joe Crackett, top 10, up 15 spots, along with Gary Wright, up 15 spots, and P number 17. I used to apologize to Joe, you know, finished a little bit higher, but had that big leaps through the field here. Joe Thomas, another driver here, 13 spots. So a couple drivers having fantastic nights coming from the back, the front. You have to give a just shout out to Jack Stoneman, though. We don't know what happened to the 25. We don't know why he went broken in the pits and came out and stopped and was in the back. So who knows what would have happened if Jack Stoneman would have been able to not have those issues early on. Maybe had a chance to get out front and maybe run away with this thing, you know, because that's the kind of speed that he was putting out here tonight, but didn't quite have enough with the cards he was given here tonight to beat his teammate Tyler Skozen, but he was able to sneak past that number 5 of Alan Elwood here tonight. So congratulations to the top 3.
Hopefully you can find out in your interview with Jack exactly what happened and what played into this. I'm sure he's still happy with the UNH boys finishing at 1-2 here tonight, but I'm sure he would like to be on that top step. But let's get tonight's final finishing order, and then we'll get to the rundown here as Tyler Skozen finishes burnouts, pulls in to the 19th hole victory lane. But Jimmy, what's our final finishing order?
Final finish order here for tonight is going to be as follows. Results are Tyler Skozen for the win, with Jack Stoneman and Alan Elwood for your podium finishers. Top gold finisher in P number 4 is going to be Jake Lesh. Your top rookie is going to be Jonathan Schwartz in the top 5. Chad Coleman, Christopher Hamilton, and then Tommy Ryan for your top 8. So that is the majority of the silver drivers. Dave Tilford and P number 2 for the gold team, back in P number 9. Ryan and Joe Sullivan in third for the gold in 10th. Top silver driver is going to be Matt Crockett. Didn't talk about Matt hardly at all tonight, matter of fact. Finishing in 11th. Colin finishing in 12th is your second place silver driver. Courtney Nelson, another rookie driver, finishing in 13th. Joe Thomas being your top bronze driver here tonight in P number 14. Zane Bierman finishes in 15th. Josh Van Wessen in 16th. Gary Wright in 17th. Jeff Ryan in back there in 18th. And then for the rest of the field here, we got in P number 19, you're going to have Louis Orduna, and then John Williams Sr. finishing with a top 20 here tonight. So good job there for John coming out here tonight. 21st is going to be Dan Phelps. And then you have James Hislop back there in 22nd. Joey Cruz there back in 23rd after the pit stop penalty, or pit lane penalty, I should say, putting him back there in the back of the field. Terry Jansen is going to finish in 24th. Ricky Renner finishes in 25th. Jeremy Gainey, 26th. Michael Schwartz finishes back there in 27th here tonight. Nathan Nickerson in 28th. Robert Matthews in number 29. Stephen Harris will finish in 30th after being up front and leading a little bit. Troy Snyder finishes in 31st, and Randy Yoakum finishing in 32nd. And I'm glad Nathan comes out here and gives these ovals a try, but you know, I think his faint of heart is still on them road cars, Carl.
Yeah, it's certainly not a good finish necessarily for the simraces.com boys with Renner finishing 25th, and then Schwartz and Nickerson finishing 27th and 28th. But they look like they had some fun out there, and some of them had some time at the front. They certainly got some TV time as well. But we'll see what the rest of the season has in store for them. We're gonna have switch it up here a little bit, and maybe for the rest of the season, and give some of these lower division drivers their due, because a lot of times we just do the top three, but I think we need to do the top three and then the winners of these divisions as well. So we'll have a few extra interviews here tonight. But we're going to start with our third place finisher here on the night. We'll switch back. There we go. We're going to start with our third place finisher, as my mouse just goes wonky for a second. But third place here tonight is going to go to the 5/23 because of the issues that we had pre-race. But either way, Alan Elwood going to come home in third here tonight. Alan, another good run, another good podium, certainly another good points day. I'm sure not the finish you wanted to have, especially with the early lead and the early run out there. But it seemed like that first green flag pit stop kind of put you behind a little bit, and maybe just a little slow pit stop for you, or what was the case there?
No, I slid through my box.
Explain it.
I'll do it. Going on a pit road, the old tires, I didn't want to be where I was on my brake bias, so I jacked it up and was fine getting on the pit road. It didn't lock up or anything, but I just went like a half a box too deep, and it just locked up, and I went left, had to back up and then turn right. And that was ultimately the difference. I felt like the amount of time that I had even lost, saving fuel and whatnot, I gained back. Granted, there was some shenanigans up front, but I gained all that time back. Just the time that I lost on pit road ultimately was what lost me the race. And I hate myself for it. I haven't done that in, I feel like, years, slide through my box. So it happens. I mean, it's human error. It's going to happen in racing. Just unfortunate to lose it like that and not to actually on track.
Yeah, and it looked like we've seen something we don't normally see from you. We've seen you save fuel before, but I think we're so used to you being out front saving fuel. But seeing you back there in 8th and just kind of holding serve and just staying right there, not seeing you move up at all, was kind of like, it left us scratching our heads. Like, is that car just that bad in the dirty air? Is he just in full fuel save mode? He's not gonna be able to cut out a pit stop. So like, what exactly is going on? But ultimately, you kind of showed us in the end that now you can run it wide open and you can try and run these guys down. And you did have a little bit of luck there at the end, but either way, you find yourself back up here on the podium. So after everything's said and done, it could have been a heck of a lot worse. We'll put it that way. So congrats again on another podium. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Simrat Market, Roderick Racing Development, everybody EDE, you guys up here in the booth, everybody watching at home. Another great Auto Club race. Hope everybody enjoyed watching it. Shout out to Tyler for winning tonight, taking advantage of that. And he had a good, strong car all night, so he definitely deserved that one. And everybody on a good race tonight. Just see if we can regroup and come back next week and build on it and maybe get another dub.
All right, buddy. Well, definitely take some time. Get ready for for Kentucky coming up next week. It'll definitely be a different trial than we had here tonight. But either way, congrats on another podium. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
It's your third place finisher, the 5 of Alan Elwood, coming home in third. Second place here tonight, and maybe it's got some explaining to do, is going to be Jack Stoneman in the 25.
You have some explaining to do. Hey, Jack, it's Jeremy and Carl up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
I do got a copy. Whatever drugs you're on, man, I want some.
Well, we're wondering what you're taking out there. You get at the pole, then all of a sudden you have that little pit stop come in. The latest I've seen anybody ever a pit entry, and then all of a sudden you were like in the back of the pack. What happened in the beginning?
So I didn't on the first caution, I didn't think anybody was gonna pit. And then I looked in my mirror and I saw a bunch of other people pitted in. I assumed it was going to be fuel only. And I'm like, oh, okay, like I can stay out. Then I saw Elwood pit and I'm like, oh crap, I got to go. And I look at the gap I have between me and Elwood. I'm like, dude, I'm shoving this man out of the way. I don't care. And I thought, like, once I got onto pit road, I thought I was okay. Like, and Elwood goes in the chat and he tells me, he's like, wow, you're lucky. And then I try to make a little snarky like comment. I'm like, oh, it's skill, not luck. And I look at the top right and I see a black flag and I'm like, nice. So had to take an EOL for that, unfortunately. But regardless, I knew I still had the pace, and I was kind of hoping there would be like another caution or two, but I was still able to make it back up to the field. It was still a lot of this was a really fun race, to say the least. I mean, going from the back of the pack and going all the way up to P2, holding off Elwood, beating all these guys. I wish I could have got one more position with Scooty, but I think I'm, as always, I always want to be winning in this league. That's the one thing I always crave for. But the other thing I do crave for is a UNOH 1-2. I literally talked to Tyler about this like a few hours ago. We run in a different league, and I told him, I said, oh, next week we got to get a UNOH 1-2. Well, let's do it early. Let's do it tonight. Why not? So I'm sure our school is going to be very happy about that. Social media, I'll hopefully get a couple followers after that. But had an absolute blast just racing. So had a good time.
It definitely looked like you had your hands full tonight with the challenges and with the cards that you were dealt. Well, there was a late game, but that makes a total sense there why you kind of fell from the front to the back so early on, had to drive up through the field. You were able to kind of hold off Alan there towards the end, maybe with a little bit of help as there was some definitely some hard racing up in the front for you guys to be able to pass the 199 and the 66. But hey, that's all part of racing, and you and Tyler were able to come home 1-2. So we want to say congratulations. Thanks for the explanation. Now we understand why you had to come from the back all the way to the front after taking the pole here tonight. So again, congratulations. Give you some time for any shouts you may have.
As always, I appreciate all the core admins here. Just making this league probably one of the best leagues I've ever been a part of in my iRacing career. It's actually, it's been 9 years I've been doing iRacing, and this league, I love it. It's my happy space for the most part, minus New Hampshire, which we don't talk about that.
That never happened. No, that's everybody's drop race. Everybody's drop race.
Short track.
No, why? Also got to give a huge shout out friends and families that are watching both the broadcast and watching my stream on youtube.com/jackrabbit. If you ever want to see my POV, I'm here. Got to give you biggest supporter, my dad. He's always there for me, always making sure that I'm doing the best I can. He's my little coach, and sometimes he'd be a little bit too honest about my driving, but hey, it is what it is, That's how I get better. Got to give a huge shout out, University of Northwestern Ohio, letting me represent them on the track with both me and Tyler, Team Watson Racing Setups for all the data and all the help that they give me to help me improve and be a better driver. I should have ended it right there, but here we are.
Sometimes you get rambling and you just lose your tongue. But again, congratulations. Thanks for the shouts, and I'm sure everybody else there as well. Again, we'll look forward to seeing you next week. But until then, we'll let you go celebrate with them, friends and family.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys.
Yes, sir.
Second place finisher here tonight, the 25, the defending champion, finishing runner-up here tonight, Jack Stoneman. Still looking for that first win of the season, but the man that is no longer looking for the first win of the season, he got it here tonight. The 55 of Tyler Skozen. Tyler, heck of a run. And you finally get that 55 up here to the top spot and get a chance to talk to us. Well, I'd say normally last, but we got a few more interviews we're going to do with the other division winners. But technically, last interview here tonight. So congratulations on the win here tonight.
Yeah, thank you guys. That was definitely a good one for once. Just the season's been pretty okay to start. We've had definitely speed in almost all the races. We just didn't have the finishes. I mean, last week, I was pretty down because I knew I felt so good at that race, and I just couldn't get a break from getting in incidents, near incidents. It's the same thing I had last year. Last year I got hit early and got out of it. This year, same thing, and glad we finally got to come here and finally showcase the speed. I mean, personally, I didn't think we had a winning car. I really felt like we had the second best car tonight behind Tommy. It's kind of hard to tell because after the last pit stop, I was like, if I can beat him off pit road, I will. I definitely have the chance, but we didn't end up doing that, so I was a little worried. I was like, man, I don't know if I can get by him on pace because he definitely was a bit quicker than me. But definitely having him and Jonathan get together definitely helped a lot. I was saying to myself a few times, I was like, I'm not going to pass them on speed. If I want to win this race, they got to hit each other. And thankfully they did. And, after I got by that, I was like, yeah, I have this because I felt like I was better than Jonathan. I knew we were going to get him, even if they didn't hit. Tommy was the only one I just wasn't sure about. And once Jack got to second, I was like, yeah, I think I could beat him. And then I saw Alan was in third, and I was like, oh, crap, he's fast. So I better start. I had to start running a little bit. But I was like, Jack, hopefully he can, try to help me out here and, try to run away with it. I don't know if he did. I had to go back and rewatch, everything that happened. But, it's great to finally get another win for, second time. And that one was for sure tough. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was worried. I mean, that Texas not on the schedule this season. Charlotte's already done, but you found your way here at Auto Club, and it was a heck of a good race. You guys had that early caution, but then everything kind of played its part here with the green flag pit stops, and you really had to bingo those stops here tonight. And I mean, you guys weren't leaving really anything to chance.
Yeah, that was actually pretty interesting because I knew we were going to have to maybe make a few stops, because I wasn't really sure what the strategy was going to be like. So then once we got that first the one caution, I was like, that actually works pretty okay. But I was kind of hoping, I was like, oh man, I wish I could have been maybe 2 laps later or so, and I feel even better. And the whole first, stint after the caution, I was kind of trying to save fuel because where I was pretty safe-ish for the most part. But I was like, if I can save a lap or 2, then I'll really feel good. And after we came to the pit stops, for the first time, I was like, it actually filled it a little bit more than I was hoping. And then I was like, oh, okay, I think I should be good here for the most part. So then, second stint, I was kind of like, I was trying to push it for the most part, but I was still trying to save maybe a little bit just to be safe. But by the time I crossed the line, I had a few laps to spare, so I wasn't really worried about it. It was the tires I was more worried about because, I was fastest in practice, but I was destroying the right front worse than I thought, and I overdrove turn 1 in qualifying and started further back than I wanted. But I guess after that first pit stop, I kind of found a rhythm. I found the best line where I can be good enough to not push the front tires, and thankfully it worked out. I'd say I actually have to go back and look at some of my tires, especially the last stint there. But I personally still think the car could have been a little bit better, but that's just me a little bit. It was a pretty tight car, honestly, the whole night. It just couldn't really. I'm looking at my tires right now. Surprisingly, they were worn the most, but I could tell you they didn't feel like they were worn at all. The front should have been worse than that. But hey, I guess if I had that fast of a car and I was still upset with the handling, I'd say that's a pretty good thing.
Well, listen, I mean, beating Alan Elwood anytime is not exactly easy, and it seems like he's got maybe an axe to grind this season after losing out on both the championships last season. One of them to your teammate of Jack Stoneman, but you guys, both you guys, UNOH boys, finished towards the top. You just got to figure out. I mean, it certainly helps, I guess. When you got Joey Cruz starting from the back from the penalties, and you got Jack Stoneman going to the back having his penalties. So the rest of your UNOH brethren there, it certainly helped you out to be the top guy here tonight. But I mean, again, getting a win here this season, you popped the cherry now on season 7. What other tracks are you looking at for this season to maybe get that 55 up to the front?
Honestly, that's a good question here. I'm going to look at the schedule right now to see what I'm thinking here. Kentucky could be okay. I don't really know. That could be hit or miss. Daytona, I mean, personally, I really like how I've done on the super speedways last few races. It just they never had the track position to do what I wanted. Echo Park and kind of the same thing. I remember running pretty good there. Coda, I'm just throwing that out the window. I don't have any confidence there at all.
A lot of drivers are.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I just maybe put a little bit more practice into it. I just kind of, I don't know. I prefer even the bigger layout, but honestly, I still kind of. I'm figuring that out for the most part. Phoenix, I mean, we already know what'll happen there, so we'll hope that luck from last season can translate there. And Homestead, kind of the same thing. I feel pretty good, but honestly, if we're going by future schedule, Phoenix should be good, Homestead should be good, and I'll definitely look forward to the super speedways too.
All right, buddy. Well, certainly take some time here tonight and make sure everyone else in UNOH knows that the 55 reigns supreme here tonight. Congrats on the win. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, of course, all the UNOH guys and everybody at the school for the support. Honestly, hey, I just thought of this. Both times that I've won, I've beaten Jack and he's finished second place. So I'm going to make sure he never forgets that. Even the time he beats me probably at some point, I'm still going to have him up at least by 1. But yeah, he played a great race. Obviously, everybody else, Tommy, Alan, John, everybody I was battling, good race there with everybody, you guys, CORE Racing, everybody putting on the show. I'll definitely go give it a rewatch here see everything that I did good, everything I did poor, and then of course all the everybody who watches, thanks to them, friends, family, everybody who tunes in to these races. It's definitely a good feeling to get that one off my back, and now that I have this, I'm a little bit more confident heading into the rest of the season. So we'll see. But yeah, hopefully should be good. I'll take my time to celebrate this one.
Well, certainly do so, buddy. We'll see you next week in Kentucky. See if you can maybe sneak a back-to-back in there. But either way, celebrate this, and we'll see you next week at Kentucky.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Your winner here tonight, the 55 of Tyler Skozen, getting it done. We'll take some time now and talk to our division winners for the other divisions here. And Jimmy, you're going to take the first one here. And it's been on a heck of a roll here this season. They're going to come in 4th place here tonight. The gold division winner, Jake Lesh.
Jake, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth. You copy?
I gotcha. How you guys doing?
I'm pretty good. Hey, man, you got this 51 rolling here this season, getting yourself another great finish. Obviously, a gold victory here, finishing in the top 5. What's your success, I guess, so far this season of getting all these great finishes?
I don't know.
Man of little words.
No hints, no tips, no nothing I can use on track. All right, well, anyways, I mean, we've noticed it, and obviously we want to recognize, obviously what the 51 is doing out there and putting in great laps, and even recognizing when, obviously it seems like you're looking at the bigger picture sometimes, when you're around some of them platinum drivers really kind of going at each other up front, kind of maybe getting out of their way just a little bit if towards the end of the race, knowing that you got a nice big cushy lead over your competitors back there. But yeah, great finish here tonight, man. Just wanted to say that we noticed it and congratulate you and give you some time for to get some shout outs on a number 51 here tonight.
Well, I'd like to shout out you guys for putting on a great broadcast as always, and this league's come a long way since last season with so many people. Having a little less people seems to be a lot better as far as the racing goes. So thank everyone for putting on a good show, I guess. And yeah. I will be gone next week. I am going to Florida for a Bassmaster kayak fishing tournament. So,
oh, don't blame you. It is a little frosty down here, so I don't know what part of the state you're coming to as far as Florida goes, but I know we're in the Panhandle. We got some 20 weather right now. So,
Jimmy, it's a hell of a lot warmer than here. Okay, I don't want to hear it. All right?
It might
We're gonna be
warmer.
negative tonight, so I don't want to hear your crap about 40 degrees.
Okay, it's 35 right now.
oh, yeah, it's like negative 10 here right now.
Exactly.
No, so you won't be ice fishing down here, that's for sure. But you're definitely supposed to be a little cooler. But yeah, have fun, man. You're gonna be missed out on track. We'll definitely miss that 51 next week. But enjoy your trip. Enjoy your time here in Florida, and we'll see you when you get back.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
That is your fourth place finisher here tonight. Top gold division driver Jake Lesh and the 51. Top spot here tonight. Didn't really talk about him much at all, but he sneaks in here with just outside the top 10 finishes, 11th, the 10 of Matt Crockett. Matt, heck of a run out there in the 10. We didn't see much. We actually probably seen more of your kind of faux teammate there in the In-N-Out Burger, the 3 of Luis Orduna making some moves in the back. But you sneak your way here into almost a top 10 spot overall here, but top spot here in the silver. So what was working out there for the number 10 tonight?
Dodging everybody's craziness.
It's and I can certainly understand that at Auto Club. But it's great for us up here in the booth. You see all the different lines. You see 5 wide sometimes out there, but in the car, I agree. It can get a little hectic, a little crazy out there. But I mean, certainly a good battle. Zane Bierman seemed like he had a kind of a lock on the silver division here tonight, but falling back there a little bit at the end, and it was you and Colin kind of battling it out.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, honestly, I just wanted to finish, and that 4X at the beginning there with that caution coming out, I mean, kind of ruined my perfect race, but it is what it is.
Well, listen, almost a top 10 out here tonight, and either way, a top spot here in the silver. So when you give some time to get up here, certainly with Dalton Drummond's not being here, should be the division lead as well. Only 1 point behind him coming in, so should be in the lead and a little bit more of a buffer there on Colin as well. So congrats on that. Before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Give a big shout out to obviously my original sponsor, Liquid Death. You can find them on Amazon.com. Search Liquid Death. They actually have new 5-calorie energy drinks. Check them out. They're actually really good. I have a box of them right here. And also Utah Foster Care. Thank you. Alpine Stars. Thank you again. SLK, meancycles.com. Check them out. And then tonight, running in and out, West Coast is the best coast. And so appreciate that. Rest in peace this track. Wish it was still alive. Wish it was still around. And go get yourself a double-double.
All right, buddy. Well, you do so yourself and enjoy this one. Congrats on the silver division win. We'll let you go celebrate. We'll see you next week at Kentucky.
Appreciate it. Hey, thank you again, you guys, for broadcast CORE Racing Network. Make sure to like them, share them, and CORE Racing.
I appreciate that, buddy. We'll let you go celebrate. That is your 11th place finisher overall and top spot in the silver division, the 10 of Matt Crockett. Finally, our top spot here in the bronze is going to go to the 217. Just kidding, Joe. The 218 of Joe Thomas.
Joe, one of these days we're gonna get that number stamped on his hand or something permanently.
It's good now. It's good.
Get an address. I'll send him a big old plaque with it.
You make a dick out of me once. It's good
something
now.
That lights up. Something that lights up. No, but Joe, obviously, just out there each and every week, and you're always seem to be the guy out there trying something a little bit different. You got a chance to get the 218 actually to the front here tonight, maybe with a little bit of fuel strategy, and it really kind of gives us perspective on what a car can do and how long it can go, as long as somebody's taking their time. And you wind up here with actually a pretty, obviously a top spot for the bronze drivers in the middle of the pack there in P number 14, but up 13 spots for the night too. So that's no stick to shake at there unless you just had a tough time qualifying. But I kind of highly doubt that. It's just your consistency of driving puts you in a great position here for, a great finish and basically a win here for the bronze division. So we want to say congratulations, recognize the number 218 for your finish here, and kind of get your side of the story, how things were out there in the big old battlefield.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I was a little surprised when I saw the notification pop up that I was requested to come to the waiting room, but
we can kick you out if you want to.
No.
Auto Club in Michigan, as you guys have seen, I've never, and iRacing in general, I've never really been a speed demon. I haven't figured out how to be as fast as Alan Elwood or any of those guys up top consistently. So I've got to fall back on fuel and tire saving to help me, as long as it's not a caution fest, help me get up front. And tonight was with, what was it, 17 to 20 laps per tank at 50%. It came down to tires, and I was letting off at the light sometimes before that because it surprisingly the car tightened up as the run went on, but I was going to pit anyway on the yellow, and because I was at the back of the pack already, what's the damage? And then everybody came in, and from then on, it went green the whole way, and just tire saving, and I was a couple of lap cars away from getting around Courtney for 14th, but it is what it is, and I'm glad I had the run I did.
Yeah, obviously, you just, you're out there having fun, whether you're the fastest car or not, and, your consistency puts you in a spot where you find yourself here tonight to, winning the division, and that's ultimately the bigger picture here tonight. And we wanted to, obviously Carl mentioned it and it's like, yep, let's do it. And recognize, all the divisional winners here and get you a chance to get up here in the booth and let you know that we know that you're all doing a great job and say congratulations and give you a little bit of time for any shout outs you might actually have that number 218.
Yeah, as always, pinupsforvets.com, as you guys heard last night with Hold Your Brakes Academy, and go to their website, check out what they have for sale, and help them with their second 50-state tour to visit all the VA and veteran hospitals and residences that they are invited to across the nation. And then Operation Motorsport, they help veterans get into racing in real life, mostly SRO and IMSA, help them be part of the individual team crews and get them on a 2-year stint with them, and hopefully get them an entry into that for post-service opportunity. And you guys, of course, I almost always forget to thank you guys for most of all, even though Carl forgets my number.
Love you too, buddy.
Well, I don't blame you, and yeah, it's probably Carl's fault if you don't mention us. But it's okay. We appreciate everything you bring to the table, especially along with the sponsors, and a big supporter of the veteran stuff. And I definitely missed my calling, and when I got out to go join a race team, and I would have loved to do that. But definitely, again, congratulations here tonight, and we will definitely look forward to seeing you here, in the near future or at the next race. But we'll let you go celebrate this one with your friends and family.
Thank you, and never say never. Look them up, contact them, look into it. If you got the time on the weekends, it's never a bad opportunity.
Oh, it is. I've seen Jimmy virtually on the track. I don't think anybody wants him actually on the track.
I'm an Aries, and I'm very passionate.
That is your 14th place finisher here tonight, the top spot in the bronze division as well, going to the 218 of Joe Thomas. I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like, subscribe, get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. I want to thank simraces.com as well for being the primary sponsor here tonight, as well as a shout out to Kim's Cups and More. Didn't get a chance to shout them out on Sunday night, and it just slipped my mind last night. But I did finally receive my my CRN T-shirt as well, Jimmy. So now we can both support CRN via Kim's Cups and More. So thank you to Kim Enyart, and I'll definitely be shouting her out in Kim's Cups and More in the future broadcast here as well. But for myself and Jimmy from the beautiful Auto Club Speedway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.